Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you can see us on YouTube. I'm not sure, so good afternoon, everybody. I hope you can see us on YouTube. I'm not sure, so good afternoon. Okay, I'm back. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry for the delay. Of course, you understand these technical issues that happen with us all the time. But we are learning and we are getting more knowledgeable about how to interact in times of pandemic. So this is what we want to do today. So welcome educonders, welcome Concolors. Today we're gonna have this meet in which, and this is not only because of the app, but this opportunity to get together two of the interfaces projects which are interconnected along with Project Unisali. So I hope some of the teachers from Unisali is also watching us through YouTube. And we're gonna start our second edition of the eTeaching stories, in which we are having a Concol Special. So we are gonna have this exemplar of a pedagogical round, which has inspired the creation of the eTeaching stories within the realm of Educonly. Okay, so I'm gonna call Professor Maralice to introduce us the activity for today. But before I do that, I would like to remind you about how we register your participation so that you can have the certificates. So don't forget that you need to fill out the forms that Márcio is going to post on the YouTube chat. Okay, so Márcio is going to be our mediator in the YouTube channel. So anything that you have, questions that you have, you can use that tool so that we are in touch, okay? So I'm gonna call Professor Maralice Neves, please. I'm gonna find you here. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's very nice to be here again with both projects, Concol and Educonly, as part of our interfaces da formação em línguas estrangeiras, and gather everyone for this fantastic moment that we usually have at Concol, which is the pedagogical round. The pedagogical rounds first appeared when Gisele Loures was conducting her doctorate research, and she was the person who actually promoted the opportunity, because of her research, to have a conversation with the teachers, participants of Concol, at the same time that she proposed that we could actually start sharing our activities in our schools in a more proactive way. We would present what we are doing. We would talk about all the difficulties, or also about the ideas we had to actually solve our problems, our dilemmas, and then we would go beyond what we are just doing it to teach something. We would talk about the relationships that we're having with students, with about the difficulties and about the achievements. So we started doing that. We started reading about situations that teachers face. We started talking about psychoanalysis and education. We have several things to discuss, and this has been a very important moment for the Concolers to share their experiences and their pedagogical situations in their schools. So this is why Annelise had the idea after the pandemic started for us to start also sharing the challenges we are facing now, having to teach remotely. And our first pedagogical rounds had been for discussing how we are going to continue with this challenge and how we are going to solve the problems, the challenges are posing to us. Are we going to continue in the future with blended learning, for instance, because we are learning so much now with the new tools, with the necessities we are having to be on the internet. So I am going to call teacher Gabriela Teixeira, who has been a Concoller very recently, since last year, just about. She was briefly a participant of EduConly, and soon she moved in to be with us and share her experiences. You will see how rich her experiences are, and let's tighten our opportunities to be together, to share our knowledge, and to be a friendly community, as we learned today in Erica's class. Remember that we are talking about relationships, and also what can we do beyond that. So I pass the presentation to Gabriela. Thank you, Gabriela.
Thank you, Marilis. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to welcome you all for this presentation, and thanks, Marilis, for inviting me. My theme today is lockdown at school, and I'm going to talk about my experience and my reflections during this time. So let me share my screen. Is it working?
Yes.
I think
yes, it is.
Yes? Okay, because I can see this. Okay, so this is my theme. Lockdown at school, my experience and reflections. Who am I? My name is Gabriela. I am an English teacher now, but some years ago, I used to be a graphic designer. When I got pregnant in 2012, I decided I didn't want to work all day long because I would like to be with my kids, to be a real mom to them. So I quit my job and I started studying again. I got my degree in English teaching at UFMG. So now I'm a mother of 2 kids. I'm also a spouse, a daughter, a sister, and I think you know what I mean, because we play these many roles in our lives. And during this time, it's really hard to do everything work. This is my school. Escola Estadual Professor Afonso Neves. I really love my school. You can see there's a lot of nature there, a lot of green. And I think this makes difference in our lives as teachers there, and also in the lives of our students. It's really near to UFMG. You can see here, there is Anel Rodoviário, and right here is Antônio Carlos Avenue. So UFMG is just somewhere like here. It's good because we can do many projects together, and we have done some last year. You can see that our school is really beautiful, not just about the green, but there's these paintings on the walls. I think it's really different from other state schools that we are used to see. We have computer labs, a computer lab that really works. There is this ensino técnico in the night. It's working during the night, and all the computers works here. We also have the sports court. You see, it's not too much, but it's a place that students can play and they practice for presentations. Our EDEB, it's not too much, even though some teachers are saying that our secondary grade is really good. It's 4.8. It used to be like 0 in the last, like 2 years ago when we had other tests. We didn't have this grade because the students, they were really absent of the school, and we had a number of students enough to get our tests corrected. But this year we got this grade, and they think it's really good, although I think we can make it better. We have about 300 students. We are a really small school. Most of our students live in favelas. They have dysfunctional families. I think that if you are a teacher in a public school, you know what I'm talking about. Most of them doesn't have a father or a mother, and sometimes they don't even have both of them. Each year they live with a different parent, like one. Some of them lives with their grandmother or their aunt. It's really difficult for them. But our students are really talented. I want to show you a video. Let's see if it works. This is one of our students. They really like to draw, some of them write poems. And this girl here, she's dancing. It's not a regular dance. It's a performance. They do with their heart, you know what I mean? They have really passion about some things. These are things that we don't do usually at schools. We are so attached to the curriculum, like they have to do their grammar exercise, their maths exercise, and we don't let them to express themselves. That's what these girls are doing here now. And this was my school until lockdown. I'm really sad because this year we had just 1 week of regular classes, and then the strike came. Nós decidimos, né, participar da greve. And it was like 1.5 months of strike, and then came lockdown. With the lockdown, we went online. We received many memorandums and worksheets to get along with, and these new tools that the government prepared for us. I think lockdown was around March 18th, March 19th, something like that. And then 2 months later, on May 18th, that's when we started with the official tools. The first of them was the PET, Planos de Estudos Tutorados. It's like a book, a small book, a handbook, right? With some exercise for 4 weeks. And then when we finished the first PET, there was another one, PET 2, with exercise for more 4 weeks. Now we are already on the fourth PET 4. Together with the PETs, the government also chose Rede Minas to sorry. The government also chose Rede Minas to put these video classes available for the students. They're trying to reach all the students in Minas Gerais, but unfortunately, Rede Minas doesn't go to every town here in Minas. And there is this website with the images that I'm showing you here, where the students can get the pads, the video class, and also have this space to chat with their teachers. This is how we get in touch with them, or it should be, because as you can see, I have left many messages, but no student never answered to me. These are official tools, but my school is not using them in this way. Like, we have the pet that we should work with, but we also have WhatsApp. That is the main channel to contact the families. Later, my school started using Instagram as well, because many of our students are there, and we're trying to do something different to get in touch with our students. And finally, the classroom. We are using Google Classroom to use a digital version of the PET. And some of our students are doing their PETs through Google Classroom. This is one example that our teachers did on Instagram. Like, when we start the lockdown, 2 or 3 weeks later, there were this boom in lives through Instagram, and Fabio, which is our teacher, decided to make some lives to help the students to find information, real information, because we had that much of so many fake news. So they tried to be something better. And Ryan de Paula, as you can see here, is one of our teachers. There was also Ariel, which is our history teacher. And I think it was 2 or 3 lives that they have done. We also used Instagram to make this show de talentos urbano. Our students recorded some videos with just 1 minute showing their talents. And just yesterday, we had the 4 students that were contemplate with 30 reais. And they get really excited about that. This is the classroom. I'm not sure you know it. I've taken many classes, and I'm using Google Classroom as a teacher as well. So I'm really used to it, but I'm gonna show you how it works for real. So this is a pet that our students can get from from the website, or if they don't have access to the internet, the school can print it for them. But it's like if there is no way else, we are gonna print it for them. As you can see, it's a 6th grade pet. So we have a cartoon here, a stripe, and many questions to interpretation questions. But this one specifically, it was pet 3. It came with really strange activities, not just on the 6th grade, but also in the 9th. As you can see here, it's a really strange activity. And how did it works on Google Forms? For the 9th grade, I need to adapt it. I just copied the figures and transformed it into a multiple choice question. So I had to choose what was better here, and I chose these 4 options: Southern, Northern, Globe, and Continent, because it was too strange, as you can see. Really small pictures, asking the students to match the pictures to the correspondent words, and it was really strange. But I think Not the Pet is like this. We have many good activities, like texts and interpretation questions. I think they were smart because if you know how to read the text and how to find the answers there, how to find information, that's what we need English for, right? And there's some grammar, but not too much. This is 6th grade as well. This is the last pet 4. And as you can see here, to the 9th grade, they brought movies and synopses of movies. And I used that to try to bring my students closer to the school. This is the classroom. Here we have 901 and 902. There are 2 classes in one here. And I've tried to do something different. What I was used to do in the beginning was to post the form, the digital pet is using Google Forms, and then I shared some links with them, translators, dictionaries, or other websites that explain somehow a grammar point or any specific concept like transparent words. But on the last one, I used Padlet to share this information. So I asked the students to come here, go through the links that I've shared with them, watch the trailers that the pet was about. I'm gonna show the pet again for you. This is the pet. This is the first week. If you go to the second week, we see there is a text talking briefly about these movies here. So I looked for the trailer on YouTube and shared it here on the Padlet. Then I asked the students to comment, to like. Nessa semana, vamos ler a sinopse de alguns dos filmes citados. Organizei o material para vocês com a matéria sobre os pronomes pessoais, because in the pet they ask for that, to find personal pronouns. So the student must ler a matéria sobre pronomes pessoais, acessar o link para o dicionário tradutor. Dessa vez, eu compartilhei com eles o link. E assistir os trailers. Por quê? Porque aí fica mais fácil para fazer as atividades do PET. Eles já vão ter uma informação sobre os filmes, vai ficar mais fácil responder e ler os textos em inglês. and I was expecting them to like the trailers that they've watched and to comment here, because we have this possibility. But I what I said what I just saw is that, let me open a form for you. So this is the form. The way they see it, they must mark here their names and then do the activities. And I already have an answer. Let me open it here. Okay, not this one, the first one. You see here, I have already 2 students that have gone through this path. It's really good because it analyzes me what they are doing right or wrong. But the students have gone through the path and they haven't interacted here, what I asked them to do. So sometimes it's really frustrating. And I think that some teachers use this to justify why they are not doing more. But I think that we should do our best always. Even though we see no results now, I'm sure we are gonna see results in the future. So this is the tools that I'm using for now. Google Forms is the main tool, but I also use dictionaries. I try to tell my students how they should use that, because their families are not prepared to study with them. And if we just throw the pet to them, just like the government is doing, there's not much we are doing as teachers. I use dictionaries, translators, websites in general, like that one that I just showed you, with the explaining how what are the personal pronouns, how to identify them. And I also use YouTube a lot because, like on the sixth grade, they talked about colors and foods. So with a short video on YouTube, they can learn a lot. But I also put other links together because YouTube, sometimes they don't have, eles não têm pacote de dados suficiente para acessar o YouTube. So in this case, I make sure to make available for them some other links that they can check with their smartphones, because they don't have computers, right? 1 or 2 students have computers to do this, but most of them are doing the activities through their smartphone. I think that's why there's so little students using Google Classroom. Most of them are still taking photos of the activities and they send it to school through the WhatsApp. I also use Padlet, as I showed you. I use Quizlet, but again, I ask them to share with us the punctuation they have done, but no student answered to that on the classroom. And CPD. Since the lockdown started, I've taken a lot of courses, free course and paid course. Not just this one, but these are the main ones. And it has been really good for me because I think that our every day at the school, we are just working. We don't have too much time to share. our work and to share our ideas. And when we are with, and you see, my school is really small. So I am the only English teacher there. I don't have another teacher to share, to exchange information. So the courses were really good for me. But at this time, after taking so many courses, I think that that is not enough. It's different than what we do at Concol, for example. We share our experiences, we share our ideas, and the other person talk to us. And this is important because that is the time to reflect. When we're just taking courses, there is no time to practice and to reflection. My personal challenges, as I'm in home all the time with my two kids all the time, also with my husband, my mother, it's really hard to keep focused on what I'm doing, to have discipline, because it's not just about to managing our time. We have to manage the time with the other people as well that we are in touch. So it's hard to find time to do my things, and I feel that we always are one person with many roles, but this time in lockdown, it's like we have to do everything at the same time, at the same place. It's different from going out of home to work. It's just too hard, this part. My reflections about that, it's not just about lockdown, the pets, for example. For me, the pets are just like the books. I didn't used to use books at the school. Sometimes I used it, but the books are always the same. Like the pets are the same for every student. And the students are different. The teachers are different. We have different strategies. We adopt different methodologies, and it changes according to the class we are working with. So I think pets here are not the problem. We have some deeper problems. The box. We used to say that we put all the students at the same box, but I think the problem is not putting them inside a box at the school. I think we just don't have box enough. We know that we should work with arts, that we should work with social emotional issues, and we do not do that. My mother used to be a teacher as well. She's retired now, but she used to say that there was these specific disciplines like moral cívica, ética. These issues are so important that they decide that every teacher should work with them. But what happened is this: we are not working with all the things that we should, because the schools are not prepared. They don't have this project that tells every teacher what to do. And sometimes teachers, not sometimes, we always need to see this in, a big picture of all the things that we should be done, and we don't have it. I think that's the difference between private schools and public schools. Private schools make sure they are doing their work. I don't think that we in public schools, we are make sure that we are working the right way, There is also this lack in digital literacy. Our students doesn't know how to use their smartphones, even though my school is like have many students from favelas. Many of them have smartphones, but they are always just like chatting on WhatsApp or playing Free Fire, and they don't know how to do something else with their smartphone. And I think that's because we teachers don't know how to do that as well. And we don't know how to teach our students how to do that. So education changes the world, but are we teachers prepared for it? Are we prepared to change the world? What can we do to get ready for this? I think that's what we have to work on now. We have to work on our CPD, right? We have to get to work to be better teachers and use the technology to make it easier. We have to get used to it. I know that it's really hard for some teachers. It's not too hard for me because, as I told you, I was a graphic designer. I was used to be at the computer all day long. But time has come, and there is no way we just ignore it. So I think that's it. I'm open to the questions now.
Do you have any questions for Gabriela?
Wait.
While people are thinking about their questions, maybe I could start by asking a question that came up to me while you were doing your presentation, Gabriela. It is about having opportunity to get in touch with your students through other means than those pet adaptations that you try to reach your students, right? You do your best to make those pets more attractive, quicker to answer, more interesting, easier for you to control and to monitor. But I mean, what are you or your school doing to be in touch with these students?
We have called them, all of them. Many students we couldn't contact because the number was wrong or was missing. Some students we just call and the person says, "Oh, she's my neighbor. I'm gonna call her for you," and it's really hard. I don't know. I think we have many levels, students that have access, students that don't, students that we can talk to them, and students we can't. We are trying to reach the students that are near us, like Instagram. We have many students there. They have participated of Concurso de Talentos. So this is one thing. Calling them is other thing. I don't know. I don't know what else we can do. We are. Yeah, I called the 9th grade. I talked to, I think just one student I couldn't talk to. After we called, 4 students were doing their pets and in the classroom. And after we called it, it was around 8 or 9 students doing it. Other ones are just sending photos. I haven't looked at this sheet yet, so I don't know how many students are actually doing it. But in classroom, it's around 7 or 6. They start doing it, and then I don't know if they get demotivate or they just stop following. It seems that they need someone calling them every week, and then it's another level. They are not adults. So that I think this is so hard. But, going digital, if we are doing that at a school before lockdown, I think they should more engaged now, because they would be used to it, but they aren't yet, because it's our job to make them get used to technology.
So this is the actual way of looking at things, right? Not thinking that students are not responding, but they are just like us, learning how to do it little by little. And we should
Yeah.
not be feeling frustrated because we get so few answers many times from them, because they and think negatively about the situation, right? We can think positively and think that they will learn how to respond, because we are now having to face the only way we can relate to each other, right? Is it through the internet, through being digitalized, let's say, through being digitals.
Yeah.
I have another question. Since Maria Regina made a question that I think you have already answered. She wanted to know what the school is promoting to reach these students, and who has not delivered the activities yet. Probably many people. Right?
This week, the school sent a message. It is also on Instagram, telling the students that the ones who haven't turned their pets yet, the school is gonna call Conselho Tutelar. So they're gonna help the school to get in touch with the families and everything else. And we are also thinking about making 1-minute videos to share with the students every week. And we hope that with something like, do you know that? And a Portuguese, do you know that? A math, do you know that? And we hope that students get some engagement with this, like seeing our their teachers, even though it being a video, but there, since February, too much time have already passed. So we think that maybe it can make us to be closer now.
Uh-huh. So let me see here. Some of the participants here are saying that the principal said that students should deliver pets when this pandemic is over. So what do you think about that? Because your school is doing differently. It's trying to do something different.
Yeah, so that's what we get about memorandums, right? Let me say this part em português. A gente recebe muita informação e depois em seguida vem uma informação diferente. Se os alunos só vão entregar os pets quando eles voltarem para a escola, como que a gente vai saber quem está fazendo e quem não está? Então, a gente precisa receber os pets agora. Se a gente precisa, assim, corrigir os pets, como que a gente vai fazer para corrigir isso tudo de uma vez quando... Não sei, eu tenho quase 300 alunos, porque eu sou a única professora da escola. Eu sei que professores de português têm menos, porque eles têm mais aulas. Professores de artes têm muito mais alunos, porque eles têm uma aula só por semana. Então, qual a quantidade de trabalho que a gente vai ter que corrigir? Eles dizem que nós teremos que recuperar o conhecimento, né? Então, tem alunos que fazem PET, tem alunos que não fazem. Como que a gente vai juntar esses dois alunos depois numa sala de aula? Para inglês eu ainda acho que é mais fácil, porque o nível de conhecimento é sempre básico, né? Mas para outras disciplinas vai fazer mais diferença. E além disso, se você... São pessoas, estudantes são pessoas, igual nossos professores também, nós precisamos ser cobrados. Se você não cobra do aluno aquele PET toda semana, já tem aluno que faz, os nossos alunos do ensino médio, eles entram no PET 4 e fazem todos, 1, 2, 3 e 4. Isso lá no Google Classroom. Entram num dia e no dia eles resolvem todos. Se você não cobrar, eles vão deixar para fazer todos os PETs, se forem 5, 6 PETs, eles vão fazer tudo só quando falar assim, agora você tem que entregar. Vamos supor, 5, 6 PETs, 6 PETs vezes 4 semanas, 24, isso de uma disciplina. Se eles têm 10 disciplinas, 240 atividades. Não dá para deixar para cobrar depois, né?
Yeah, really, that's a difficult point, decision, and I think you are trying to do the best for your students not to be behind schedule, right?
There is another point here. I think students doesn't need to reach a grade. They need to read every day, do exercise every day. That's how we learn. We do things every day. We do not study one time a month. We, if you want to be fluent in English, we need to speak English every day, right? The same for a child that is growing cognitively. So they need to learn something new every day and do something new every day. I I think that maybe we that could not exist. They should read every day. If the students were receiving literary books at home and reading every day, it would be enough. But they don't read. We know they don't read. Their families doesn't know this is important for them. And this is something that I'm sad as well about. We don't know how to reach the families, how to bring the families to school, so we can talk to them. You know,
I
that's
would
why
like
we need to change our students' mind. So then, when they grow up, they will be a different adult than their parents are.
saying all that, Gabriela. I was wondering here, why do you think you are not doing much as a teacher? What do you think you could do more than you are already doing?
Because I have some ideas that I don't put in practice. I don't know how to evaluate my work, how to assess my students' work. Um, I need more organization. You know, sometimes I see that, oh, if I had done this now, I should know what I want to know now, but I haven't done that. Like my student make this work, and what have I done with this work? I don't know how to explain that, but I think maybe it's gonna be with some more years of practice, but I do an activity and the whole year pass. And when I look behind, I think it could be different. It could be better, you know. And that's the point in sharing. I think when I share my, how do you say, angustias, when I share,
Your anxieties.
yeah, my feelings, some other teacher that is more experienced than me can tell me, oh, if you do that, you're gonna know if they know it or not, or if they don't, or it's not important for them to know. They only have to. I don't know. I don't know.
So that's why you think continuous professional development must go on
Yeah,
because we never stop learning.
yeah. Because the learning is also about reflecting, and some teachers have told me that, and I see that it's really important. We don't reflect about our practice, and that's where we learn more. When we reflect, we see we could have done different, and then the next time we do it different.
You try to improve, right?
Yeah.
Your mother, I was just, I can see that no more questions were uh, put here. Annelise has a question.
I do.
I think she can make her question. Annelise, please do so.
Hi. And wait a minute because I have to make sure I find myself here. Wait, here. Gabriela, I took some notes here while you were speaking, and I think that this what you were saying and discussing with Maralice about the actions and how difficult they might be, but at the same time how you feel you're not doing enough because you have more ideas. Well, about those actions, um, you said that sometimes teachers use this. I don't know, I'm not sure what you meant by this before, but I think it's about Reamp and those pet actions, about the pet proposals. Okay, so how they were organized by the government. So you said teachers use this to sometimes to justify why they are not doing more. So I'm taking this more that you meant. I think that's what you mean, right? So actions that we might promote, um, even though, right, the what is established for us to do is not, or does not involve whatever that you are doing as an original idea, or something that helps you motivate the students, or even include them in some protagonist action or something like that. So my question would be, how can teachers who are trying to do more, as you say, and as you reported that you are doing, okay, how can they transform or make those actions become institutionalized, even though they are not part of the program? You see, even though they are not supposed to be something by the government, you know. So everything that you're doing with your students seem to be informal, considering the curriculum, right? So extracurricular. Now, how do you think teachers, what do you think they need so that those actions that are local, okay, can become maybe institutionalized? That's the question.
Well, I think that's one thing that I think I don't do right, because we have to have this registry in some way, you know. We have to have it in a document so we can share it. Not just a document, but like we have to have somehow some way to show that it worked, like a case, and spread it. That's what Flavio from Máquina de Ideias say a lot. Sharing. We have to share so other teachers can do it as well. And when you see that many people are doing it and it's working, that's I mean, to have it institutionalized. Also, I think we are not very united, you know. Who is the person that are gonna help us politically saying, you know, who can help us to look to the school, to look to education like it is or like it should be. They are only worried about money and how much we're gonna put here, how much we put there. That's because we are just here. We do not reach high levels, you know. Like we have who? Beatriz Cerqueira, and just her. It's too little, just one person looking for us, looking for education, you know. I don't know. I think we need to spread the news and get teachers together.
Maralice maybe want to comment on that, and then I have another question, if it's okay.
Because I made my comment here in the chat.
Yes.
But not everyone can see. I just said that, Gabriela, you are in the right path. And so are those people who think like you, because this is a political action. In times of the digital area, we need to network, okay, for the good, not networking for the bad or for the evil, like many people have for fake news, etc. We can do the opposite. We can network for sharing what we need to share. So you are in the right path. And I was just wanted to point out that your mother was also a teacher. So what did you learn from her? That's also a legacy that she's left for you, and you're gonna leave.
I'm gonna reflect on that. So next time somebody asks me, I can give a better answer. But we have many books at home, so I learned to read. I have this pleasure in reading because of her, and also both my parents were teachers, and they were really, not because they were teachers, but they were really responsible people. Like, we are responsible for the way we live, for the people we relate to. They were really into not doing wrong things, and I think that's a start, right? be be I miss the word in both languages. I don't know how to say that. The compromise with the right things to do. And I think that's the most that I learned from her.
Great. This is as a daughter and as a citizen, but since she was a teacher, you must have learned how, something more having to do with the profession as well. And that's interesting because this is a type of identification. You could have been something else, but you chose to be a teacher.
I look to my mother and see what I should not do.
Doesn't matter.
I see her doing things, and I know exactly what I can't do.
Exactly.
Marco asked, how does the school deal with the problem of digital exclusion when parents are supposed to go to school to pick up the material? They went on PET 2, PET 3, but now in PET 4, they don't want to go because they said, oh, the kid hasn't done PET 2 and 3 yet, so why am I going to pick the 4th? This is happening. But also, it's part of the job of being a parent. You have to get your kid to do the exercise. And I must say that I'm a better teacher because I am a mother, and I'm a better mother because I am a teacher, because I see where I'm doing wrong, and then I correct it. Like, my older son was in a public school last year, and I see that I need the school asking me to do things. When the school is in touch with me, I do more. When the school doesn't ask me for anything, I just let things go the way they want to go. So this year, my son is in a private school because I'm more compromised. How can I say that? I did. This is my choice because I think I am a better mother when they are looking at me and see if I'm doing it or not. So I saw that it was going to be better for him as well. Parents should look for what their kids need and do that.
Great. Concallers, I am very surprised that you're not so participant this time. I thought this chat was going to have a boom of questions, and you are so silent. Annalise, anybody from the YouTube chat?
Yes. Here I am, Lucas. There are some questions in the chat, so I'm going to read some of them. Janine asked you, Gabriela, if all the students have access to the tools, if they all have the pads, and if they are all online. I think you commented about that.
Just some of them are going online, not all of them, and not all of them are doing the pets. Sure, like 40% are doing the pets. I don't know how many of them are going online and how many of them are doing like in their own notebooks, but the final number it's around 40% in my
Very
school.
good, and that links directly into Marco Tulio's question. How does the school deal with the problem of digital exclusion? When parents are supposed to go to school to pick up the material, do they do it?
That's what I just said. Some of them, they were they went to the school on the last pets, but at this one, some parents are resistant because the students are not doing their homework.
Hmm. Those are the only two questions. I think everybody's really quiet today, but
Okay.
that's it.
Annelise has another question. I'm going to ask her to come online, please.
Yes, yes. I have another question based on what you said. So I take notes of what you say, so then we can reflect on that. After you told us all the actions, all the ideas that you tried to implement, and which were apart from what the government was actually promoting, right? Then you said uh, it's hard. You say doing that is hard. That was actually the words. Okay, so I understand that actually, because I think everybody agrees, even the 30 people who are watching us on YouTube now. So if you would like to elaborate on that, that would be nice. But my question comes based on that. What, considering that this is really hard, what do you expect from your own community? And when I say community, I mean the school, the government, in relation to English teachers, of course, but also Concol, Educonly, the projects that you participate. You may participate, you probably participate of other projects as well, of the other groups of discussion, right? So what do you expect from your community, your professional community, in terms of support, for example?
So we know that the only thing that is going to count is the page. It's related to the presence of the students. Everything else we do is not counting as our work. We have to enter the chat and be online there. And if we have if we have made some video or prepared a material presentation, it's not counting for the government. So this is a part of hard, because if the teacher is doing something, he's not going to be recognized for that. About the students, I know that the students have answered the Quizlet that I've done for them, but because a student sent me a private message asking for, hey teacher, I couldn't do that, what's that? And then I answered that to her message. But I asked them to share their punctuation and nobody did that. So I know they entered it, but I have no registration of that, no signal that they were doing that, and they are not interacting in the classroom, although some of them are going through the materials and doing the activities. There is no interaction. And this part is hard because I'm trying to do something and I'm not getting the results that I wanted to. What I expect from my community is that they do not give up. We try to do things. We don't get to the results, at least not at this moment. But I know it's going to make difference in our practices, our practices online, our practices when we get back to school. And I think we need to fight for our rights, which is having equipment at the school, having internet, a good internet available for all our students. In my school, we have Wi-Fi available for all the students. It's not very good, but we have it because our principal believes it's important. It's part of the process. So I have a principal that is concerned about our students. Is concerned about giving it's not giving, but giving them a proper education. I hope that people just like my principal could do the same, in high levels, in the government.
Wait, I need to read a comment from the YouTube. Adriane Caldeira is there, and Adriane was the teacher who presented the first eTeaching stories along with Kenya, right? And she says, Gabi, don't worry. We always think we are not doing enough as mothers and teachers. So this is going to be, according to her, and I agree with her, this feeling is going to be part of our practice, right? But it's not necessarily going to define it, right? Okay. Maralice? Do we have more questions?
Humberto just asked if the number of students participating is the same in all subjects. I'm gonna take a look on that, Humberto. I think that Portuguese and math, they have a higher level of participation, but I'm gonna check to say it to you with some certain.
Well, if we do not have any other questions, we may end the broadcast to YouTube.
I have just one.
Lucas does. Great.
Yeah. I just want to reflect a little and just to ask about. Do you think, Gabriela, that even in the middle of all the troubles that we're having, all the problems, do you see a silver lining in the horizon? Do you think that there is something profitable to take from this moment? Do you think you learned something new that you are going to incorporate into your lessons in the future? Or do you think, no, this is not going to be the same when we come back? We are going to come back the way we were.
I think we all are learning a lot of things, and that's the part of the reflection. We have to take notes. We have to make sure we will not forget about this when you come back. We can have a change, or it can be the same, but it's gonna be on us, the things we are doing now. If we are working to make these changes in the future.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic words to end the conversation here, but Keila Azalim Cunha is saying that she thanks God she is here. Okay, so we all thank Gabriela for being here and hearing her to give us more strength to go on and insist, right? Kayla, do you want to make a question yourself? No? She's just showing her face here to say how happy she is to be in this pedagogical round today. Annelise, if you want to end the broadcast.
Yes, I can do that. I'd like to thank all the Concolors. I'm trying to show you here, but maybe I don't know if there's enough
There's
space
no
here.
need to show yourself.
Yeah, so especially Gabriela, thank you for sharing. Thanks for being such a great teacher. So I'm speaking as a citizen, of course. And thank you all concallers for inspiring this event, okay, and also making it happen. So our special thanks from Educonli to Concol, and of course to Maralice. Uh, I'm ending now the transmission in a bit, but before I'd like to remind all of the educonlers about the need for you to access the Google form that Márcio shared on the YouTube chat. Okay, and we'll meet again probably not only in our e-teaching stories but also in our workshops and language lessons and all of that. Next week we are preparing a program based on our difficulties so far during the pandemic. Okay, guys, so be aware for the flyers and all the information that we might be sharing soon. Okay, thank you and bye bye. Let me. I'm
Okay.
still. We still have the transmission on. Wait a minute. I have to end it on YouTube first.